Hey there, everyone. This is Jason of Auglitical. As always, I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. So there's a video that caught my attention, and I wanted to do something a little bit lighter. So I wanted to react to this because, well, I don't really do reaction videos at all because I don't really like them. But there are things that do interest me, and I wanted to just do something a little bit different. From time to time, mix it up. So, what is a high value woman? Now, for me, I will say, I've been telling my friends whenever I see them have relationship problems, don't give up on women, right? Just like with girls, don't give up on guys. However, you need to be able to see that there's a difference in quality of the people that you keep. You should not expect a person who did never showed you that they can do good, and all of a sudden you get with them and think that things are going to get better. But maybe this video will help solidify my views on things and maybe redefine the things that I see, or maybe I'll be against it. Who knows? I'm an open book. Let's check it out, shall we?
That's just misogynistic and fucked up, dude.
Okay,
Am I a fucking animal?
What makes a high value woman?
Hello, I'm here. Maybe.
What would you?
Bro, if this man is literally asking people what makes a high value woman, and the first thing that you hear out of their mouth is that's misogynistic, and I'm pretty sure there's more context to this, but I'm already getting the gist of what this is, right? Women cannot, not all women, of course not, but whenever you try to put women on the spotlight for some type of accountability or responsibility or anything like this, they will do everything but answer a question. They'll try to turn it on you. They'll get a defensive. They'll go offensive to get defensive. Like they go crazy because they refuse to take any type of criticism at all about their behavior whatsoever. So okay.
You rate yourself out of 10.
A million. I'm the queen.
What do you think men's left for in a woman, apart from arrogance?
Oh, yes. Oh, I am like, look at her fate. She came. Listen, listen how she started, bro. Look how she started.
Yourself out of 10.
A million. I'm the queen.
High value woman.
Hello, I'm here. Maybe.
What would you rate?
What does that even mean? What is a high value woman? Hello, I'm here. What do you bring to the table? You literally said nothing. You got all of the confidence in the world though, but again, we know that this is a facade, right?
Rate yourself out of 10.
A million. I'm the queen.
What do you think men's left for in a woman, apart from arrogance?
I take issue with the high value aspect. I feel like that is rooted in capitalism.
Questions really.
Yo, we're not even in the video yet. We haven't even touched the goddamn video yet. Oh, this is gonna be good. First off, you talking to a dude who can't even define what a woman is. I could already see this guy. He can't even define what a woman is.
I take issue with the high value aspect. I feel like that is rooted in capitalism.
You take issue with a man asking what is a high value woman. And whenever that you don't, because clearly this person doesn't know. So he defaults to what he knows or what he's been taught. Capitalism. Again, first and foremost, you're asking a guy who won't. I guarantee you, he can't define what a woman is. First and foremost, so you're asking him this. He's already offended. Already offended. But I guarantee you, he has a type. And since he already, so you're asking a gay commie guy, right? What is a high value woman? He can't define it at all. But since we now know his, because we can already tell a lot of things just when he opened his mouth. He views it in capitalism, gay capitalism. I guarantee you his type is big dick black dudes. Because for that whole victim thing to work out with those people, there needs to be an oppressor. These people feel oppressed. Capitalism. It's the white man. I need to self-degrade myself to other people who don't even like us, who probably hate us. Not all of them, but you get what I'm saying, right? This is what, yo, this is going to be good.
The question's really, what is a high value person? Yeah, but that's not the question. The question is, what is a high value woman? Most
See, there you go. You can't answer the simple question. What is a high value woman? Well, the question is, what is a high value person? No, 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 no. The question is, what is a high value woman? Don't sit there and try to don't change it, because we can ask what a high value man is, high value man, high value woman. But right now, it's high value woman. Stop with the gender equality bullshit. We're not here for that. We're asking a specific question. White knighting all day, baby. Simping all day.
Men will lose respect for you if you put it out too quickly.
I think that's just you being insecure.
Men
A man will lose respect for a woman if she puts out. Well, it also depends on the man, because there's a lot of men that don't have respect for themselves. Now, granted, listen, my stance when I was younger, I didn't want any girl that I messed with touching anybody, right? I didn't even want to hear about her past. Like, you got bodies, I don't even want to know, right? Granted, yes, I do want to know for the honesty aspect, but you know, if you got a high body count, that's a red flag, right? However, if she's about it and she's about you, then that's all that matters, right? My friend, and I'm pretty sure you've heard this before, it doesn't matter what she did before she met you. All that matters is you. However, if you messing with a chick and she's not even trying to put you up on that, like she's not even trying to put you on the level, right? And she brings up other things that she did, and there's things that you can tell that she's judging you, and you need to move, bro, because you got too much of a freak. And if she sits there and she's not really understanding how you feel about it, that relationship is doomed. Why is he looking at this guy like this? Hold on, what is this guy about to say?
are very insecure, caring about what their partner might be posting on social media. What you label insecurity, I would label healthy territorialism.
I wear whatever the I want.
Why are you showing your butt to other men on Instagram?
But it just, like...
If I was in a relationship with you and you uploaded that, I would take issue. You want attention from men for your butt. True or untrue?
We need strong women that stand up for themselves.
Women
in
who can
society.
follow a masculine lead.
No.
Wait, but she's married. She's married though. That is a wedding ring. Is that not? Is that not the right finger? I don't know. I don't know what finger it is to be people get married. Women can stand up for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. I love strong women, right? But again, all the benefits, none of the responsibilities.
What is a high value woman?
I actually have pretty traditional values.
This is very untraditional.
I cook, I clean, I don't complain about it.
Push comes to shove, would you prioritize your career or family? What makes a low value woman? Dating is unattractive, have a high body count. Good question.
Is a social construct.
If a broke dude is a low value man, would you then say that an ugly woman is a low value woman? What is a low value woman?
Apparently me. I'm a single mom. I was promiscuous. Where do you think the kid came from?
A high value man would very reasonably view your position and say you're just not a quality mate.
Because I'm not a high value woman.
Yeah. Would you say that on average men find overweight women less attractive? Men are attracted to skinny women. Can we find common ground on that?
I mean, thick thighs say
Yo, my man went over to this event. She got her nips out with the thing on. My man had shirtless. He works for that, bro. Listen, I'm abandoning the fat gang. For the next 3 years, yo, I'm gonna be going hard. I'm going to transform my body to the best form that I can get it back into. You only live once, guys. Listen, I'll show progress if you don't believe me. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, I weigh 350 pounds. But I don't look like an Eggman from fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. But this is a promise to you guys. I'm going hard. Listen, I'm going hard. We losing fat. We gaining muscle. I'm going hard. I just pray I don't get that loose skin shit. And no, it's not fat shaming, anything like this. It's not for me. It's not for me and it's not healthy. But I like the fact that he went over there with the shirt off. This man has all types of confidence. I had a friend back in the day. My man, he came and he started fat. He started working out. He went to one of the clothing stores where you had guys with their shirts off. Basically, because it was okay to view what was attractive back then. Okay, a guy who's in shape looks good. So my man was like, nah, if they gonna take off their shirts, I'm gonna take off my shirt too. So my man just sitting there, a bunch of white dudes, all looking good. My man got his shirt on, black dude. He stood next to them, and they all just fucking sitting there posing up together. The staff had a problem with it, but the other posers were cool with it. Yeah, man. Confidence is sexy.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of Common Ground Conversations, where we ask the important but controversial questions and then try to find common ground. In today's episode, we're going to be asking the question, what is a high-value woman? Let's see what people have to say. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, some context before we dive into today's episode. If you want to skip my analysis of the question, here's a timestamp for the first convo. Let's do this. Generally speaking, men find women attractive and women find men attractive. Go figure. Furthermore, there are some patterns to what each sex finds attractive in the other. Men are generally attracted to a particular set of traits and qualities in a long-term female partner, just as women are attracted to, generally speaking, certain traits and qualities in a long-term male partner. And some of these traits and qualities are the same. For example, both sexes tend to select for partners that are trustworthy, loyal, loving, etc. But unfortunately, for those who rather annoyingly insist that men and women are the same, there are some notable differences in our respective attraction patterns. For example, men tend to value in a long-term partner more so than women do: 1, physical attractiveness; 2, a caretaking or nurturing nature; 3, a low body count or a degree of sexual purity or non-promiscuity; 4, youth and fertility; and 5, submission / compliance / an ability to follow the masculine lead when appropriate. And generally speaking, we could describe the amalgam of these qualities as feminine. Meanwhile,
And there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of the things that he literally said. Again, and I say it all the time, emotions are important, but when you just lead based off of emotions, when you don't listen, right, you're bound to make mistakes, because the heart is important, but the heart can lead you astray, especially when you don't got facts behind it, when you ain't got no reasoning behind it, when you're basically going just based off of feelings. You do a lot of stupid things. A lot of women, most women, tend to be emotionally driven creatures. Sometimes you gotta make the harsh decision that may not be the nicest, but you have to make those decisions. So in that case, that would be a masculine thing. It's not about being nice, right? It's not about being right. It's about being correct. Attractiveness, if you're not attracted to the person, it ain't gonna work. A lot of things can make a guy or a girl attracted to each other. Caretaking. If you can't, I would think that when a guy messes with a girl, most men, a guy wants a girl who's able to do certain things, right? Because a lot of guys are not built. It's not in their DNA to be the best cleaners. It's not in their DNA to be the best at taking care of themselves. Have you ever seen a guy who's been by himself, single for a long time? Look at how he takes care of himself. A lot of them don't take care of themselves very well, but it only works for them because they're guys, so they don't care. A woman will enter a man's life, right? And she will be like, oh, no. And she will literally just start cleaning shit. Like, this is this is what you need to do. This is you look good in this. You need to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're low body count. Nobody wants a slut except other sluts. Youth fertility. I mean, granted, listen, you ain't getting no younger, right? It is true that men are attracted to younger women, just like women are attracted to older men. This is a fact. Not all of them, but this is a fact. Me, on the other hand, I actually like older women. I have a problem and I need help. Ability to follow. That's feminine. Okay, sure.
women tend to value in a long-term partner more so than men do: 1, financial success; 2, physical strength and willingness to engage in combat; 3, emotional composure or a stoic disposition; 4, status; and 5, assertiveness or leadership. Again, generally speaking, we could describe the amalgam of these qualities as masculine. And these two terms, masculine and feminine, as well as the groupings of polar qualities that they describe, are not just social constructs born of the patriarchy or capitalism.
Yo, he's killing that shit off early. He's like, listen, all that extra shit that those leftists are pushing, they're full of shit. Don't even, and mind you, the problem is, it'd be one thing if it was 1 or 2 clowns for every like 100 people, but because they are so entrenched in our education system, our media, the workforce, just everywhere, just sucking, destroying society slowly, right? These clowns are in front of the train. They don't know how to conduct the train, but they're in front of the train, and they're not even stopping. They're going past the speed limit. They're ridiculous. They don't understand how things work, but they want to tell everybody else how things work. Isn't that insane? So I like my man. My man is straight up. He's straight up front, like, yo, there's gonna be clowns. Fuck them. They're stupid.
They are instead largely rooted in our biology, and more specifically in 1, our sexual nature, 2, our altriciality, and 3, our asymmetric parental investment as a species. Now, let me unpack each of those 3 terms in more depth here, because they're important to understanding the big picture. Firstly, our sexual nature refers to the fact that our species, like many others, comes in 2 fundamental variants, male and female, barring exceptions, of course, for intersex individuals. To propagate the species and make a baby, the 2 sexes need to come together, and you can fill in the rest. But beyond producing different reproductive cells or gametes, be it an egg or a sperm, males and females also vary in a myriad of other ways, including physiologically, anatomically, neurologically, etc. The list goes on. The point here being that males and females exist, and they are different in a variety of important ways biologically, and that has implications for how we pair bond. More on that in a little bit. Moving on, altriciality refers to the fact that our species gives birth to babies that are fairly underdeveloped when compared to some other species. And what this means at essence is that human babies require a great deal of tending to and care after birth in order to reach full maturity and independence. And the follow-on question then becomes, where and from whom does this care and nurturing come from? And that brings us to the 3rd term, asymmetric parental investment. Also known as differential parental investment, this refers to the fact that men and women have different obligatory and non-obligatory investments in their offspring. So for example, when a woman falls pregnant, if the baby is to survive, she must carry the pregnancy to term. There is no other way around it. There is no way to give birth to a new life without the mother's pregnancy. This is her obligatory parental investment. And it's no little investment either, obviously. A 9-month gestation period plus usually 18-ish years, maybe a little bit more, of dependency afterwards is no joke. But here's where things get interesting. Is this the case for a man? No. Now, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, obviously, but a man's investment in a child is optional. It's not obligatory, and it's also not necessarily large. It can vary in size or degree. The father can be somewhat involved, very involved, or not involved at all. And this, by the way, is in large part why women are and should be more selective with their sexual partners. The price of sex and pregnancy is much higher for a woman as compared to a man. It's why men chase and women choose. Now, is that fair? Maybe not, but is it life? Yes. Welcome to the...
There you go. There you go. Equal opportunities, but not equal outcomes. That is equality. That is the actual what equality should be. I think that's how it works. Anyway, nothing he's saying is wrong. And I personally do believe that, yes, while men in the relationship of a child is optional, we're seeing what happens by it being so optional. We're seeing what happens when a lot of men are not in children's life. We're seeing what happens with a lot of women where there's no father figures. We're seeing what happens when a woman wants to hurt a man who wants to be in a child's life, and what they'll do and how they take things out on the children. We're seeing this in real time, and it's getting worse and worse. Let's continue.
Game. So what does all of this have to do with what men and women select for in their partners? Well, as a consequence of those 3 things I've mentioned, our sexual nature, our altriciality, and our asymmetric parental investment, men and women select for different traits in long-term partners. Traits that tend to complement their own strengths, weaknesses, and vulnerabilities in order to maximize the probability of survival for themselves, their offspring, and ultimately their genes. And it's this selection of complementary traits that is at the essence of polarity in a relationship. Another way of putting all this is that men and women each have a slightly different sexual drive or imperative, what we might refer to as the masculine sexual imperative and the feminine sexual imperative. In a sentence, the masculine sexual imperative is find a high-value woman or multiple high-value women who can give birth to and nurture a healthy offspring to flourish. Meanwhile, the feminine imperative might be characterized as secure a high-value man who can protect and provide for me and my offspring. And this is at the root of why we see the difference in attraction patterns between men and women. When women are pregnant or have highly dependent offspring, they're simply more vulnerable than they otherwise would be, and as such they seek out partners who can actually contribute something of value to the relationship, like the ability to provide and protect physically and financially, like the ability to remain calm, composed, and in control, capable of dealing with unforeseen circumstances that might represent a danger to the mother or the child, like status and the respect of peers, such that if help is needed, a tribe is on call. all. And this is also why men tend to select for young women, fertile and healthy as they are, and why they find aging women less and less attractive. This is why men tend to select for beautiful women who have quality genes and who also take care of themselves and put some effort into looking good. If you can't do that, what makes you think that a man will trust you with their kid? It's also why men tend to find promiscuous women unattractive. There's an element of parental uncertainty, as well as some evidence that a woman's ability to pair bond decreases with her number of sexual encounters, and this is further supported by the observation that regular casual sex downregulates the release of the hormone oxytocin, which plays a crucial role in pair bonding. Further, having multiple sexual partners also devalues the significance of a woman's intimacy. Scarcity is at the root of all value, and as a woman, your intimacy is simply not valuable. It doesn't mean anything if it's too easily won or too widely accessible. And lastly, it's also why men tend to select for women who aren't career obsessed and who value family first, who are more feminine in their temperament, capable of trusting in and following the mature masculine lead once it has earned that trust. So now that we've covered what men and women tend to select for in long-term partners, as well as why they select for such traits from an evolutionary lens, in essence because of everything I've mentioned, our sexual nature, our triviality, asymmetric parental investment, the consequential seeking out of complementary traits that maximize one's probability of survival, as well as that of their genes and offspring, how does all of this relate to the idea of a high-value woman? How is value...
Now, real quick, I just want to go back. So, with all of this right here, ultimately, and I've always said this, a relationship is a negotiation. The person that you find that will be special, the one who's right for you to make that work, it needs to be a negotiation. You need to understand that that person's not going to fill all of those check marks, but they're damn going to try. And you better do the same exact thing. A lot of people are not willing to do that anymore. A lot of people, especially when it comes down to women, it's about me, me, me. They see themselves over everything. They don't value men anymore. It's not to say all women are like that. I hate that I keep having to say it's not all women, but if I don't say that, there's always going to be somebody later down the line. Oh, I saw your video and you don't get it. You're still bashing women. It's like I'm not. Just being honest. I'm just giving an honest view. It's not even an opinion. This is just something that's actually happening. They don't think that they have to bring anything to the table. A lot of them really sit there and they just go, I'm pretty and I have pussy. And that's all that you need to be 6'2". You need to be in shape. You need to be a good looker, good kisser. You need to be great in bed, huge dick and hairy balls. And you better be making 6 figures. It's crazy.
How does all of this relate to the idea of a high-value woman? How is value in the context of the sexual marketplace determined? Well, put simply, take all the women, have men rank them with regard to attractiveness as long-term partners, and the women at the top, they are the high-value women. The women at the bottom, they are the low-value women. And if you're uncomfortable with that terminology, you can swap out the terms high-value or low-value with high-caliber or low-caliber, or even high-quality or low-quality.
See, exactly what I was saying. So he's saying what is a high value woman, and I'm always saying the difference between the quality of women that you have. Now I'm gonna sit here and say it like this. If I was to say what do I find to make a high quality woman, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful girl, it doesn't have to be the smartest girl. A high quality woman is a woman who's willing to listen. A high quality woman is a woman who's willing to engage, willing to sit down and actually be there. Have an open mind. Like, I think that that's one of the most, like, I remember before, I used to say it before, I was like, I don't even care about love, to be honest. I just want somebody who's loyal to me. I think that that's the most important thing. And I know that that sounds crazy, right? Because everybody wants love, right? But you can love somebody and they won't be loyal to you. If that makes any sense. I think that for me, a high quality woman is just a woman who is willing, and doesn't have a problem with keeping it real. I think that that's what it is for me. That does it for me.
We can do the same thing for men. Have the women rank all men with regard to attractiveness as long-term partners. The men.
And here's the thing: when it comes down to women being told, "Oh, what is a high-value woman?" They'll get upset. They'll get upset if a guy do it. But tell a woman What's a high quality man? And they will go off. They go off. They absolutely go off. Do you remember the song Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better? They've been doing this. This has been something for years, right? Oh, what was that old song or the hood version? Oh, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Talking from the something something side of his best friend's ride, trying to holla at me. Girls were feeling when that song came out in the hood. Girls were feeling themselves. Low quality women felt great. I think for like a good like a good 4-6 months, girls were feeling on top of the world. And then the guys had their own version. Now, normally they always go, "Oh, it's fair for girls to do it because guys always been at the top." But whenever it's an opposite, whenever it's the girls that do something and then the guys give them a taste of that same energy, guys came out. There was a song called "I Want No Pigeons," right? Girls went. I think the song was actually better than the original. Girls were mad. I remember you used to have girls blasting that song, right? And then you had guys blasting the other version. It was great. Oh, what a time to be alive. I'm old.
At the top, they are the high value men. The men at the bottom, they are the low value men. And just as in any marketplace or social hierarchy, it's important to know and to teach young people especially, you don't determine your value, the marketplace does. So if I have a car and I list it for $100,000, but no one wants to buy it, is it really worth $100,000? Of course not. Its value is determined by other people in the marketplace, not my opinion. And the same logic applies to men and women in the sexual marketplace. Just because you say that you are a 10 does not make you one. So ladies, if men don't...
Fuck your feelings. That's literally what this is. Get out of your feelings. A lot of people can't do that. We live in a world right now where you have people making rules for everybody else based on how they feel. People who are out of touch in their ivory towers looking down on people of lives that they will never have. And we are their experiment. And because they feel some way, we're their guinea pigs for their experiments. And that's completely wrong. But somehow they manage to trick people that will never have their lives that this is the reason why things are. And so you need to follow this. It's insane.
Find you attractive as a long-term partner. No one wants to pair bond with you and have kids. It's not because there's something wrong with the men. It's because you're likely just a low-value woman. Best look at that uncomfortable truth dead in the eye. Do what you can about it, as opposed to opting for the ignorant bliss that might come from cloaking your inadequacy in euphemistic female empowerment branding. Insisting that you are a 10, despite contrary evidence from the marketplace, isn't a boss bitch move. It's just socially accepted delusion. And gents, the same applies to you. If you think women have unreasonable standards of men and you're avoiding responsibility by pointing the finger at anyone else but yourself, best do a 180 because
Yo, I'll just put it like this, all right? Women who think that men, I'm sorry, what he's basically saying is that when you got those women out there who sitting there screaming where all the good guys go, first and foremost, there's no woman that's really out there not able to secure a guy, because for women it's much easier. And if you can't accept that simple fact, then you're a fucking reality bender. You are delusional. Women have so many tools that even if they're under a 5, because I think that most people are at least 5, right? Most people don't start off ugly, right? But even girls who are ugly, have you seen the black magic they do with makeup? It is insane. Women can do, listen, I used to always be attracted to Asian women. Have you seen Asian women's foreheads when they don't have their hair covering that big ass 5 head of theirs? That their foreheads are insane. Right? There's so many things women can do. Makeup, the way that they present themselves, so many things. And with men, listen, confidence, being passionate about something, taking care of yourself. You may not be able to get them all, but I guarantee you'll get a lot more taking care of yourself. Listen, you could be a goddamn bum. I forgot, there was a story about a homeless guy in Manhattan who he was having sex like 4 times a week, and he was homeless. He was living in Manhattan. He was clapping white rich girl cheeks. They was taking him to they were taking him to their houses, and he was messing with different. He was in bars. He was homeless. They was giving him money. He had nothing to his goddamn name. Tell me that's not insane. It's all about how you carry. And listen, I'm gonna be the best version of myself. That's a promise. That's a promise. I'm done. I'm done. Let's continue.
Odds are you're just a low-value man making excuses for your inadequacy. Time to look in the mirror truthfully, acknowledge all the ways you could be better as a partner, and then get to work. Women seeking a long-term mate will not love you unconditionally the way your mum did, even if they say otherwise. Instead, they will love you conditionally. They'll select you for all the aforementioned traits. So aim up, work on yourself, and become attractive. Do not shy away from the truth nor the ideal in the name of boyish comfort. Stop being a Jeffrey, step into becoming Adonis. If you know, you know. So why is all of this important? Why even ask the question, what is a high-value woman, as well as what is a high-value man in the first place? For me, it comes down to this. Young women should not be told to think of themselves as untouchable 10s. That is promoting delusion, and delusion in whatever form we find it is unproductive. Instead, young women should know the truth about what men value and what it is they select for in a long-term partner. So if women would like to attract a high-value man, they know how to become a high-value woman themselves. And just quickly, this isn't just coming from a man who finds women attractive. I'm not just here lecturing women on who they should be. I'm speaking from the perspective of an elder brother to two beautiful younger sisters who I want the best for. I want them to be able to attract a high-value man, but to do that, they must know what a high-value man wants, as well as how to become a high-value woman themselves. I don't want them deluded into thinking they're 10s if they're not. I only want them thinking they're 10s if they are actually 10s, and that comes from a place of love. And the same applies to young men. They shouldn't be told to think of themselves as unequivocally deserving of a woman's love, respect, and intimacy. That's the type of thinking that leads to young, romantically challenged lads pointing to.
Hey, yo, what the fuck did that guy just do? What did this piece of shit just do?
They shouldn't be told to think of themselves.
He probably wrote something good. I'm sorry. I just, it's just weird, right? Like, why would you do something like that? Like, he probably did something not mean, right? But why would you flank somebody like that?
As unequivocally deserving of a woman's love.
What is he doing? Wait, he's doing the Spider-Man, the Bully Maguire dance. Did you see that? Am I bugging?
Men, they shouldn't be told to think of themselves as unequivocally deserving of a woman's love.
What is he doing? What is this? Yo, this right here would have gotten you beat the fuck up if you would have done something like this around me. Don't do nothing like this around me.
Love, respect, and intimacy. That's the type of thinking that leads to young, romantically challenged lads pointing the finger at women and saying you're the problem. It's the type of thinking that leads to unproductive incel and MGTOW culture. Gents, mature women will love you conditionally, as they should, and you must earn their intimacy by becoming a high-value man, not...
Now, if you guys don't know what an incel is a person who's basically given up on sexual relationships because they feel like as though they can't get them. Every time they try, they don't get it. MGTOW is basically, it's basically toxic femininity, but it's the male version. I look at it that way. And the thing is, a lot of people that are involved in MGTOW, the way that they look at women is that if the woman is not bringing something, so the way that MGTOW works is that it's supposed to be men going their own way. And it actually came from across the ocean, you know, Japan. Basically, men were called herbivore men because they didn't want actual women, because women gave too many headaches. It was too much of a financial investment. So they started to only like 3D women, which is like cartoon women and shit like that, because actual women kind of fucked up over there, right? So they didn't want authentic. But in the Western audiences, we had this thing called MGTOW going on. And MGTOW is like, again, it starts off good. All movements start off good, right? It starts off noble. It was supposed to be basically men understand the tricks that women play. Understand if she ain't bringing nothing of value, don't lose your mind. Don't even mess with her. Use her. And you hear the same thing on the opposite side. If a man ain't worth it, use him, right? It's fucked up, and then it starts becoming radicalized, and then it gets disgusting, right? When I started my channel originally on YouTube before it got taken down, a lot of people was actually trying to recruit me into MGTOW things. And I was like, bro, I don't hate women. The fuck? I will never join you on some Star Wars light versus dark side shit, right? I was like, I know there's good women out there. Just because you hear me bashing women, it doesn't come from a place of hate or anything like this. And I know there's a lot of people in MGTOW who they understand there's still good women out there, but they're arming themselves. So it can be good, but it ain't for me. So that's MGTOW and incel, whatever.
By remaining a boy. And zooming out a little bit, this same type of thinking can be applied more generally to life, and is certainly a core tenet of both this channel and my personal life. Whatever the domain, situation, or question at hand, we should choose the red pill over the blue pill, which is to say, we need to confront uncomfortable truths head on and work with them, as opposed to running away and choosing ignorant bliss.
So basically what you're saying is that men being confrontational, taking on things head on with strength instead of being feminine and being passive. Gotcha. Assertiveness versus passiveness. Gotcha.
Hiding unwanted things in the fog, ultimately playing the victim so as to avoid responsibility. With all of that as context, we spoke to a variety of people in today's episode. I've timestamped each conversation for you below. The footage is from 2 different days. One where we asked what is a high-value woman/man, and another day where instead our science said rate yourself 1 to 10, and we used that as a portal into the high-value woman and man question. Last but not least, I want to hear from you. What do you think? What is a high-value woman and what is a high-value man? Point out where you agree or disagree with me, and let's get a conversation going in the comments. I will see you there. With that said, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's now jump into conversation number 1. Boom.
I love the way that this guy has his whole setup. I hope one day to get my stuff together and I can present content as well as this. Sometimes when I make content, like I'd be wanting to it's crazy because it takes so much out of you and people don't really understand this, right? And yeah, you can be passionate, but it's like it sucks when you push out content and you see that it's not even getting views. And it used to be you didn't get views back then because you didn't push out content people wanted to see. But now we know how things are and the shadow banning and all of this stuff. It's rough out here right now, guys. So again, if you like this video, I'm going to break this up into multiple parts, but absolutely check out this video on your own. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm going to break this video up, but again, hit me back with some feedback because I'm noticing that my videos aren't even getting views anymore, and it sucks. But I again, let's get right into it. But I absolutely do like the way that he's presenting this video so far.
What is a high-value woman? And high value in the sense of what do men...
You see, I hate this guy's stance already, bro. He just he said this and he's already internalizing, right? The victim, he's already all of the buzzwords is churning up. You guys remember when Xbox first came out and you pressed that button and it made that damn sound like a nuclear reaction was going off? That's what's inside of this guy's body right now when he said that. Listen to what he says and look at his reaction.
What is a high-value woman? And high value in the sense of what do men tend to select for in a woman? And then we can also ask the question, what do women tend to select for in a man? So, tell me, what do you think?
I take issue with the 2 aspects of this. One, the high value aspect. I feel like that is rooted in capitalism, trying to quantify someone's existence based on their personality or based on certain traits that they exhibit. And if they don't exhibit those traits, then they're just not meant for society. I find that really rooted in capitalism.
No one said that they're not rooted in society. They're not made for society. I'm one of the staunchest believers that society needs low quality women, right? I listen, I've never I never paid for sex, but I can understand why a guy who works super hard, who's not in a relationship, maybe just wants to bust a nut. I could understand a woman who she probably just had a divorce or probably just had a breakup, right? She probably, her body hurting, she hurting for a squirt, and she wakes up and her bed sheet looks like as though there was a poltergeist, and she decides to mess with some dude. I'm not against any of that, so I don't know where that is coming from this guy. But again, he's talking about capitalism and all of this shit. What? That makes no fucking sense.
And then I also find
why is it rooted in capitalism?
Well, high value, quantifying someone based on like certain things, like if someone doesn't meet that standard, then they're not, meant for.
And again, right there, that makes no goddamn sense. You want to know why, Commie Boy? Because the funny thing about that is that the whole view of you talking about high value, the first thing that they teach you about leftism is that your highest value is your morality and being morally superior to everyone else. Right? And as long as you are morally superior to everyone else, you could be a complete douche. And then you find out, oh, you're not morally superior. You're actually the bad guy. So you could just change the words around between high value and also morally superior, whatever like that. It's just words, bro. And yes, words do have meaning, but like he's trying to link the two and it makes no fucking sense. None.
Society, that's kind of what that implies.
Not necessarily. I think it's like, why are these your friends as opposed to all these other people that you've met in your life? Because you value certain personality traits in those people.
Okay.
Is that capitalism?
Well, no, I just think that, like, the term high value, like, would you guys go with that? Like, it just kind of, like, fits in with kind of, like,
I mean, measuring like a person with that sort of language, like in terms of value.
It's almost
Like,
slightly.
it's like a measurement of like how worthy they are of like, I guess, any sort of societal.
Okay.
No one is saying that. All the guy is asking is what is a high value woman. They are not saying that they're going to be in the back of the line and not get picked for dodgeball. No one is sitting there saying that they can't have a fulfilling life. No one is saying that. You are literally looking at something and you are changing the entire. You're going off and doing all of this extra shit instead of what the question. Why is it so hard for people to look at something instead of putting their own spin on things anymore? Why is that so fucking hard? My man literally came out the gate saying capitalism and everything and it's all bad and this, that, there. And then when he said, does that make sense? Is that capitalism? He was like, no. Then he turned to her immediately because he's empty. But I guess that sounds good to his diversity friends, right? To his woke friends. I guess that something like that would sound good. I guarantee you right now, this guy, if he was among a crowd of his peers, they would all be cheering, thinking that he's actually said something of value. Oh, oops, said that word. That's triggering. High value. Oops, that's capitalism. That's triggering. Sorry.
Maybe let's see if we can get a clear definition and then see if we can find something we agree upon and then we'll build from there. So it's not necessarily a prescription of like, in order to be high value, I say you have to do this. It's more so an observation of what do men tend to generally select for in long-term partners within women, and then vice versa, what do women tend to select for within long-term male partners.
Oh, okay, so we're just assuming that everyone's heterosexual.
Yo, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yo, you can't win with these. I'm sorry, I need to calm the fuck. I need some water. You can't win with these reality bending clowns. You can't win with them. This guy literally said, he did say basically is that what a man will find as a high value thing. And honestly, he could have just simply said, you don't need anybody to judge you to be high value as long as you are high value. But we need to understand what is high value to gauge if that's high value, because you will have a lot of people that'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm a 10. But she has multiple baby fathers. She had bad relationship with her children. She's on OnlyFans. She's not taking care of her family. She's not taking care of her home, right? Not doing any of this. She can't cook, can't clean. Right? And it's just like, if a woman sits there and says that she's high value, she can say she's high value all she wants, but we know she's not. But this guy literally just said, so we're all assuming that they're heterosexual. Yo, I'd have just walked away. I'd have just walked away from this person at this point. Like, we can't have a conversation with you. I hate to break it to you. You are not engaging in the conversation properly. And of course, this person would have lost their mind if you do that, because everybody's opinion is important. But in that situation, I probably would have just walked away. Can't do it. Like, you really gonna trust the dude who looks like the type of person who would mutate a virus to impress a date? You really think that he knows what a high value woman is? Okay.
Yeah, for the moment.
I mean,
we can get specific if you like, but
something different. Like, I don't think there's like to be a high value woman and to be
You know what? I like that he did that too. I like how he stood his ground and was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's just say heterosexual. He just stopped playing games with them. Like, I'd rather do that because he's trying to like, he doesn't have he doesn't have anything to stand on, so he's trying to throw anything that sticks. Oh, capitalism. Oh, everybody's just heterosexual, so you're not putting everybody together. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. And then you move on to the other lady, please.
like wanted by a man, you need to be pretty or like whatever. Like some men will like me because I'm like fucking weird as shit, and then some men won't, and then like that's fine. Like everyone has different tastes.
Okay, so
it doesn't have
common
anything
ground-
to do
common
with
ground.
objective value.
Where we can find common ground is that everyone has their own personal preferences, right? You're going to have a personal preference, I'm going to have a personal preference. That might be a deviation from the norm as well, and that's completely all right. But that doesn't mean that we can't observe generalized patterns or trends with regards to what men and women tend to select for. So what would you say men tend to select for in women?
I just think in general, people, men and women, they just want to be with a good person. They want to be with someone who's got good manners, is respectful, you know, is kind, generous to other people. And I don't think like you need to say.
So then why didn't you say that, Mr. Metrosexual? And this man got pearls around his neck. Did you guys remember the term metrosexual? I missed that term. Remember when metrosexual was a buzzword that they were trying to use before Latinx and people of color and birthing person? We had metrosexuals. They really tried to push for that. The funny thing is, he literally this person, right, who's gay. He's clearly gay. Like my gaydar is going off. He has to be gay, and if he says he's trans or he's gay. He literally could have said what the man in the middle is literally saying. You just want a good person. A lot of people want good people. Nothing wrong with that. And with the woman right here, she said, and she kind of put herself down a little bit, talk about, oh, well, it would be people who are attractive. She probably doesn't see herself as attractive. Honestly, none of that shit matters because there's this thing called an it factor. You can have a beautiful girl, but that girl means nothing to another girl who comes in and now the room is all, like everybody's on her because she brings something special. You know how many girls in my lifetime I've been through who were attractive as fuck, but their personality was horrible? I would take a goofy, weird girl who's silly, down to earth, like this, any day over Amber Heard, Eliza Blue, Jada Pickett, Meghan Markle. List goes on.
Everyone would agree with that, yeah.
So to that extent, I'd say that like the question's really what is a high value person? Like,
No, see, again, you had us in the first half, my dude. You literally came out strong and then you still interpreted it as something else. He did not ask you what is a high value person. He asked you what is a high value woman. You literally started off strong. Yo, this group is weird, bro.
woman is the same.
Yeah, but that's not the question. That's not the question. The question is, what is a high value woman?
I like how
Yeah.
I like how when he said that, he said, but that's not the question. He looked immediately at the fucking gay guy. This guy's cool. this guy's okay.
Yeah, great question. Great question.
Why is there different?
I'll give you.
My question is that like what like where are these constructs coming from that like a high value woman is different to a high value man? Why are women held to a different?
No one said this. He's trying to interject these woke he's trying to. I'm trying to think of the right word to use here. Like this woke shit. Like he's trying to interject this bullshit. He's not. This guy is not good for this conversation at all. Like everything coming out of his mouth. Yeah, this guy's the worst.
Different standard than men. So I'm assuming that you're talking about like someone's body count, how many people they slept with, what clothes they wear. Why is that such a focus for women but not a focus for men at all?
Okay, so here we go. So if a woman is going out there and she has her ass cheeks out 24/7, it clearly shows that her body's not a temple, right? It clearly shows that she doesn't care. And mind you, there's nothing wrong with a girl who wants to slut it out, but she's a slut. Like the thing that's so crazy is like you be really having these chicks out here who don't value their body but expect to be treated like queens. That's not the way it works. And if a guy is known for sleeping around a lot, There's no woman who really wants to have a family or who considers herself high value that will mess with him unless you're Kim Kardashian and you're trying to mess with somebody like Pete Davidson and you're only trying to get the D because you heard he got a big dick. Again, but she's not a high quality woman. No one said that we value high quality men versus high quality women because they attract each other. And last time I checked, men and women complement each other. It's a negotiation, like I said. We can't exist without each other. So why would we put one above the other? We don't do that. But in this person's world, of course we do.
Because that is a good question. So I think it's two parts, right? One is the what part of the question. What do men select for in women? What do women select for in men, generally speaking? But then there's that second part of the question, which is the why. Why do we have these double standards? Why is there an asymmetrical pattern in what men and women are attracted to? So first, let's do the what, and then let's come to the why, if that's all right. Because I think there's a combination of biology as well as society, say nature and nurture. So generally speaking, if we were just, we're not telling someone you have to be like this in order to live your life, whatever. Generally speaking, what would you say men select for within women?
I just don't agree with the premise of the question that you're asking because, again,
That nigga leave. You. Oh my God. This is the equivalent of This is Reddit. This is the Twitter user. This is just go. We don't want you here. Go. You're right. We don't want you here because you're wasting time. You won't answer a question. You'll flip and change words around. You do all of this extra shit. You're actually fucking annoying. I wasn't even here for this event, and this person would have annoyed me. I would have been having a great day, just chilling, walking down the street. I'd have heard this shit. I'd have turned and been like, "Go away! No one likes you. Go away!" I'd have been screaming at this person. Like, yo, no one likes this type of shit. But this is the problem. We brought these people to the table. The internet exists, so now we got more of these type of people. And they all group together because it's the only way that they can survive, and they're everywhere now. They're fucking everywhere.
again, like, everyone's different, and I don't think that there's a generalized statement for what men would select in women.
I mean, we're all part of different social circles anyway, so the normal for what men want is different depending on social circles.
I'm looking at society at large. We might even just say, we might even
meet friendly, kind people.
I disagree. Can I drop you in a couple? Yeah, I'll share with you, and then you tell me what you disagree with, and we'll see if we can.
Look at his face. Look at his face. He's realizing the conversation isn't centered on him. He's trying to make this he's trying to get like these bazinga moments, and he's trying to basically come out on top here. But he's realizing that this person's doing something like there's some psychology behind this, right? There really is. Like, he's negating this guy. Like, he's mirror forcing this guy hard. Like, he's doing this man dirty. And it's crazy because it's a 3-to-1 kind of thing here where they're still trying to like do this like pushback. And you can tell like this guy has no good intentions here. He's trying to have a real conversation with these two here. I don't know.
Pick it apart a little bit. So I would say that men tend to select for women who are physically attractive and who tend to be a fair bit younger as well, because both of those things can be signs of fertility and a good gene set. Beyond that, I think they also select for a caretaking or nurturing nature. They want to know that not only can they be taken care of in certain instances, but also that if they were to have children with this person, with this woman, and engage in a long-term relationship, that this woman would be capable of taking care of the children.
Can I just ask?
Let me give you just a couple more, and then let's unpack it. I would also say you mentioned body count. I think that's also quite important to men. Generally speaking, to go one step further, I think that overly promiscuous behavior is quite a turn-off for men, whether it's photos online or dressing, showing more cleavage, whatever. That can also be a turn-off to men, or to certain men. So if we just take those three to start with, tell me what you disagree with, and let's see where we can find common ground. Where we
So on the point of fertility, like I'll be realistic. Maybe we're coming from different perspectives. I don't know how old you are. We're all early, like I'm 19, early 20s. Yeah. Like I don't really think. I disagree with the premise saying that we're thinking about like, oh, how fertile is a woman going to be, especially like if you're in your I don't know late teens, early 20s. Like I challenge you to find like 10 people that would actually.
That's a great
really
point.
Consider that.
So our preferences might actually change with time. So I'm late 20s.
Absolutely. See this, and this is the funny thing. This is what we mean by people's personal feelings. These people can't elevate themselves to see the answer that's right in front of them, the answer that they've already said, but they're too stupid to realize this. Of course, a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old is probably not looking for a child, right? But let him get a little bit older. Let him get in his 30s. Let him get close to 40 and realize he don't got a child or a partner. His definition, his values, his views changes real quick. And that's the answer. So yeah, while younger people may see things slightly differently, we're looking for the universal answers to what is a high value woman. Right? He's even giving them a freebie and saying high value things. Right? And they still can't do it.
That's definitely something that I consider. It's like I simply do not find older women attractive, but most men around that 20s range would agree with that. Even men in their 30s would find generally younger women more attractive. And if you look at sexual marketplace value graphs where men have rated when they find women most attractive and women have rated when they find men most attractive physically, the peak for women is much earlier than it is for men. So.
Yep. Because women's value, and this is something that is a thing, the younger a woman is, the more value they have. Then they hit a wall around the age of 30. Now, I'm the opposite of that because, of course, there's outliers, right? This is when you have to have an it factor. However, young guys can be attracted to older women, but a lot of times it's completely sexual, right? This is when you get a MILF situation going on, right? And the reason why is... I'm not gonna even go there. But again, you can have outliers, but the universal questions is what we're looking for here, and he's laying them out.
Anyway, that's. I think there's some data to back up the observation that I'm making there, even though we disagree.
Yeah, I just don't think that's something that people really consciously consider or even subconsciously consider. I don't think that's something that people really factor in. Like, let's say hypothetically that I used to meet someone who I found really attractive, but they were,
35?
35, I doubt I'd be on the same emotional wavelength as them. I'd just be at a different point in my life.
Do you ever find a 35-year-old woman physically attractive?
Show me a 35-year-old woman and I'll tell you if she's attractive or not. I don't know.
I would say you're much more likely to find a younger girl attractive than a 35-year-old woman. Yeah. Whereas I don't think it's necessarily the other way around.
Margot Robbie's I don't.
He's talking about Margot Robbie? Is he really talking about Margot Robbie? Is that what he just said, Margot Robbie?
Yeah. Whereas I don't think it's necessarily the other way around.
Margot Robbie's I don't really go and look at every...
Exceptions don't necessarily prove the rule.
Generally, I wouldn't, even think about, like, oh, I'm passing a 35-year-old woman, do I think she's attractive or not? Like, that's not really something I'm going to be considering. And also, I think, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, people might have considered, like, I don't know, just things like physical attractiveness, body count. Like, maybe they would have considered that an important thing to them. I'm not saying I agree with that, I disagree with that. But more so now, like, people value emotional connection, just as much as physical attraction.
Yeah.
Bro, this man is literally saying that back in the day, something like physical attraction and body count was important, but now what's important is emotional connection. You think that emotional connection wasn't a thing back then? I make the argument that right now, emotional connection is not even that important. In this day and age, the way that people act, they don't even have emotional connections to the people that they're with. A lot of these people who are together right now are together through means that are completely wrong. They're hooking up on internet sites, right? They're hooking up through these means that they shouldn't be doing whatsoever. They're not making real connections with people, and this is the reason why they struggle in relationships. This is the reason why you have a lot of people trying to have open relationships, right? They don't have connections anymore. So again, I get it, my dude. You have the sensitive soul. Listen, I see you. I have a sensitive soul too when it comes down to partners, bro. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. You're trying to be profound. You're trying to. I get it. But guess what? You're full of shit. Let's continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
I agree.
I think like
I think it's, you can't have a prosperous relationship without that deeper emotional connection. I think that's where we could all find common ground. I know that you need to make a move pretty soon. I did want to come to you. Yeah, go. Well, I wanted to ask you. Feel free to ask me as well your question, but I did want to ask you because we bookmarked the why. Why do you think there is this asymmetrical attraction patterns within what men tend to value in women and what women tend to value in men?
Well, it all comes down to gender. Like you said that there was a biological basis, and like yeah, in terms of fertility, 100%. Like there is a body clock and pressure, but that comes down to if someone wants a child. So you're linking someone wanting a child in a relationship as a factor, and then linking that to attractiveness, which I don't know whether like that's relevant really. And I also just like
Can I just jump in really quickly?
Yeah.
I would just say that most men and most women want to have kids.
yeah, totally. So that would be a factor for a relationship. But you know what's really
But not
interesting
for
is that yeah, and totally. But you know what's really interesting is that a lot of women are actually infertile and actually.
No, they're not. Stop the bullshit. That is not a normal. Okay. He's literally going with an abnormal thing. It's kind of like with trans people, how they sit there and they go, "Oh, you're killing trans people and you're offending a lot of trans people." And you go, "Where are the trans people?" "Oh, I'm trans. I turned trans yesterday." It's like, no, you're not trans. Yes, there are women who are infertile, right? It's a thing, right? It's a thing. But he's really trying to sit there and act like it's a normal thing. It's not. It's not even close. Don't do that. Don't do that. And even when this man, he's meeting them in the middle ground saying, yes, that is something. And he admitted it. Yes, that is important. What? Yo, this man, I couldn't do it.
Actually can't have children, and a lot of men as well also have fertility issues.
I think that's actually a hard and uncomfortable truth, but being infertile makes you a lower value woman. And I think you were
What about
saying
being
men.
infertile men?
Yeah, I think the same applies to men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, why are you coming at it from the perspective of what a man wants to see? What a woman wants to see in a man.
Well, we're doing that as well, but I would say it's just
Do you see what happened? The second that he literally said, "Oh yeah, we're also doing high value men." Oh well, it's okay because bashing men is fine, but when it comes down to women, that's where we get that's where you cross the line. Okay.
generally speaking, people are more willing to ask the question, what do women find attractive in men? What do women reasonably expect from men if they want to be in a long-term relationship with them? People aren't as comfortable asking this question, which is, what is a woman? What is a woman? What is a high...
He couldn't answer that. He couldn't answer that one either if you asked it. I guarantee it. I guarantee you. The man was like, oh shit. Again, do you see this? This is what I was talking about. When it comes down to bashing men, everybody piles on because it's something that's so normal. But when it comes down to putting women under that same spotlight, everyone gets shook. Everyone becomes defensive. Everyone has something to say. You're wrong. You're evil. You're a bigot. Capitalism. Heterosexualism. Whatever the fuck. Stop it.
Yeah.
We hear it non-stop. And like what you said...
What do you mean? What do you mean we hear it non-stop? Because I very rarely hear people in public talk about what makes a woman high value.
What?
Whereas I hear plenty of talk about what makes her
Yeah, we do that around, but...
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for engaging in the conversation. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves.
Also, if you want to
Go quickly. I'm just conscious that you guys
we're
have
all
to
going,
chat.
we're all going to the same thing.
Go.
Like just in terms of like people caring about what their partner might be posting on social media or how many people they've slept with, I think it comes down to insecurity. Like a lot of people.
Bro, no! First off, there needs to be a little bit of jealousy in a relationship because if a person's not checking in on you, that means they don't really give a fuck about you. You be stupid out here and trust your heart 100% with a person. And you gonna get done. She's gonna take you for a ride. And I'm not talking about Elon Musk and Eliza Blue with a Tesla car. She gonna take you for a ride. We're not talking about this. You will get done dirty if you let your heart guide you blindly. If your girl has a social media and she's posting her ass, she has her ass out on Instagram or she has her ass out on Twitter, she got an OnlyFans, she ain't for you, bro. And vice versa. If your dude I mean, I don't think guys have it the same way, but there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. Like, there needs to be a balance. No. You doing too much, my dude.
But men are very insecure, and they feel threatened by the fact that if they're in a relationship in their 20s, their partner's probably slept with a few people, they've probably got experience, and that shouldn't be something that people feel threatened by. And that's quite concerning. People are, getting so hurt over the fact that, maybe their partner feels good about how their body looks, and they want to post them on social media.
Okay, give me 30 seconds.
All right, check this out. Guy in the middle versus guy asking questions. Both guy in the middle versus guy asking. Check this out. I'm gonna do an experiment. Guy in the middle versus guy asking the questions. Girl on the side. Who do you think that she's gonna pick between the two of them? Between the two of them, just based on the way that they talk, their mannerisms, and the things that they view. Who do you think that she's gonna pick? Even though she knows, right, that she doesn't want to agree with the guy talking. If he asked her out on a date right now and she was available, you don't think she would go with the guy who's asking the questions? She literally just sat here and said, guys don't find me attractive. Guys, there's some guys who probably won't find me attractive, but I'm weird. I'm quirky. This guy right here in the center, they're all going to the same place, probably know each other. Guy in the center right here. I don't know if she's with him, but let's say she's not with him, right? Let's say they're not together. I don't think that they're together. Right now, didn't know each other. Who's she picking? She got these three guys. Let's say that this metrosexual gay guy, trans guy, whatever the fuck he is. Let's say he didn't reveal that he was gay, even though she already know he gay just by the way that he acts. But we can't identify gay people anymore because that's bigotry. That's patriarchy, right? Let's say she sees two of their Twitters and he's saying shit, right? Being a male, right? And he's saying shit in the center. This guy's saying the shit in the center, talking about insecurities and body counts, and we should respect women. And this other guy's like, yeah, I voted for Trump. Who you think she's sliding in the DMs if she has the chance to? Stop it.
Seconds to answer this. One, I would say that
And on top of that, he's taller. He automatically wins. Stop the bullshit, bro.
what you would label perhaps insecurity, I would label healthy territorialism. I think there is a sense
of ownership, you mean?
no territorialism.
As in boundaries.
No, it's taking responsibility for this woman, and also I would say in terms of like body count and promiscuity, there's some. I think there is a good biological reason as to why men might find that unattractive. Part of it is that there are other it's attracting more male attention. And again, that comes back to the territorial nature. Are we really in this together? If, let's say, for example, you're a woman, we're in a long-term relationship. Are we really committed to one another if you're posting provocative shots of your boobs online to get male attention? I'd be very questioning of that.
And if a woman sits there and says, and she's like, oh, you can't set boundaries, and you're letting other men, and basically you don't think other men can see that she's vulnerable? There's no fucking boundaries there. There's no fucking boundaries. But of course, we'll play it the other way. But it's completely okay for a woman to be like, yo, you can't have no friends. I don't trust that girl around. You can't speak to her no more. Why is that okay? But when a guy goes, yo, I don't want that opportunity for Mr. Bentley to come down with an umbrella like Mary Poppins and slide in between your cheeks, because there's no boundaries there. Because you're sitting here and you're telling me I'm insecure and I should just shut the fuck up.
And then also, and then
doing it to get me.
That's kind of that's
one
a thing
second.
they're into.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, there's a big.
I don't want to have a male be responsible. Like, that's not a healthy dynamic for
Also, it assumes biological monogamous since the beginning of time, which is just actually false. You're kind of on the basis that someone needs one sexual. No, that's not true, because we actually like not necessarily need one sexual partner. That's how our society is kind of Western society has kind of portrayed that in recent years. But if you look to other cultures, other religions, indigenous cultures, for example, lots of different kind of pairings and kinship systems are at play.
Yeah.
So
Majority monogamous, though. That's where we might have to disagree.
yeah, majority, but
Yeah,
that's not biological.
Hey, have a lovely day. Thanks for showing your position. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Take care. Take care. I would say the same to you.
The passive aggressiveness. I thought she was the nicest one out of all of them, but she's a woman. The passive aggressiveness off of this woman. What did she say at the very end?
Have a lovely day. Take care. Take care. I would say the same to you.
All right, so we're gonna end it here. We're gonna end it here. I don't want it to be too long. I talk too fucking much, but people like this kind of thing. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that those three was full of shit? Let me know what you think in the comments. How you would have handled this situation better, because I believe that this video is gonna get much better. But let me know, guys. I'll catch you next time.